Here on The Quest, we started the new year off wild with NFL Week 17 action, which sent shockwaves throughout the hobby, driving massive demand spikes for certain players. And to top it off, we've got some breaking hobby news that will affect football cards in the future. So let's talk about it all. Let's dig in. So the final regular season just 1 week away. If you're looking to flip football cards for immediate profit, you're really looking to focus on players in the playoffs. When I look back at my sales history from the January of 2021, I see my best sales on players that were in the playoffs, like Drew Brees and Dalvin Cook, and Gabriel Davis on the Buffalo Bills, Derrick Henry, Tyler Lockett, Stephon Diggs, Baker Mayfield was another nice one. Chase Claypool was in the playoffs. Stephon Diggs again, as he was a critical component of the Bills' playoff run. DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry, Nick Chubb. So you could see some pretty nice demand spikes for players that perform in the playoffs, hype leading into their playoff game, and then if they perform well, additional demand spikes after that. So let's look at the current playoff picture real quick, because there were some teams that were eliminated. There were also several more teams that clinched a playoff spot, such as the Tennessee Titans, who clinched the AFC South. They clinched that divisions. The Chiefs were already clinched. The Packers were already clinched. The Packers have clinched now the number 1 seed in the NFC. Behind them, the Rams, the Bucks, the Bills, the Cowboys have clinched, the Patriots, the Cardinals. So when we look at my hype index charts throughout this video for players that have the best hype right now in the hobby, you'll notice I filtered down to teams that are either in the hunt, on the bubble, or actually in the playoffs. So you look at the Eagles, they have clinched a playoff spot after this win this past week. And then we look at some teams that are still in the hunt: the Colts, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Steelers, the Ravens, all still in the hunt, potential way in the playoffs after week 18. As far as the NFC, you really just have the 49ers and then the Saints on the bubble. And you look at all the teams that have been eliminated now in their approximate 2021 draft order. So Jags, Lions, Texans, Giants, Jets, Panthers, Seahawks, Bears, WFT, Denver Broncos, Cleveland Browns, Atlanta Falcons, Minnesota Vikings, and Dolphins, all eliminated from the playoffs, and now are looking forward to the NFL draft. So a quick reminder, the Card Dog will be live tomorrow night on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the Hitman, Steve Caladesi, talking playoffs, teams on the bubble, playoff best ball, players that are projected to perform the best throughout the duration of the playoffs. So join us live there tomorrow night. Okay, let's look at the QB hype index filtered for teams now in the playoffs, and leading the way is Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow once again in week 17 with an absolutely phenomenal performance. 30 for 39, 446 yards, 4 touchdowns, 148 QB rating against the Kansas City Chiefs, winning the game, won the division. His sales volume in week 16, after that 525-yard performance, we saw 1,900 rookie card sales from Sunday and Monday, with a high of $40,000 for that on-card numbered out of 5. But this past weekend, we saw a sales volume of 2,950 Joe Burrow rookie cards sale from Sunday and Monday. Absolutely wild, guys, how many sold. You could see the PSA 10 Prism there. Buy it, sold, buy it now. Just today, this Wednesday, January 5th, for $400. The highest sale from over the weekend was this Cracked Ice rookie ticket auto numbered out of 22 PSA 10 that was listed for $50,000 in a buy it now, and the best offer was accepted at $32,000. that before the season you could have probably got for half of this amount. Now, this is a very rare card, but still the expectations for Joe Burrow coming into the season were much lower than the way he's performed as of late, and that is why his card prices have gone up so much. You could also throw this card in that category. This is a Joe Burrow National Treasures RPA out of 10 on card auto patch with a lovely portion of the Bengals jersey and the number. Now, this is not game worn, but this is player worn, probably from a Panini event. This is graded to a Beckett 9.5 with 10 centering and 9.5 on the other subgrades, a 10 on the auto. And this card was listed at $75,000. Buy it now. And the person actually accepted a $25,000 offer and made them some nice money on Monday, January 3rd. Now, when you compare this to that of Mac Jones, and Mac Jones did have a very good week this past week. Now, granted, they were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, and this was a game that they were pre-written to go ahead and win. When you look at Mac Jones' sales volume, he is a 2021 rookie, so he's got even less experience in the NFL than Joe Burrow. His sales volume was roughly 1,700. We also know the New England Patriots have a larger market size than the Cincinnati Bengals, and for a large part of this season, the New England fan base has been touting that Mac Jones is the second coming of Tom Brady. So with this big bounce back performance from Mac over the weekend and winning this game against Jacksonville, he did have a top 5 fantasy QB finish. His sales volume was roughly 1,700 in rookie card sales through eBay and auction buy it now. His highest sale, guys, was a Panini XR RPA 10 out of 10 jersey match. So 10 serial number out of 10, double jersey match, one of a kind card. Sure, it was listed as a buy it now for $14,500, and the person accepted a $5,000 offer. Granted, this was a card they probably pulled out of a pack because XR was just recently released. So this was probably a wonderful profit for this person pulling that XR out of that pack. You can only imagine how excited they were. So you can see that Joe Burrow is even more hyped than the number one hyped 2021 QB right now in Mac Jones. All right, when we look at the wide receiver hype index, it is no surprise that Jamar Chase is leading the way after being the huge benefactor of Joe Burrow's second historic week. And so you can see here again, I've filtered out the hype index for just the teams either in the bubble or in the hunt or in the playoffs. And when you look at Jamar Chase's sales volume for week 17, him also being a 2021 rookie is very interesting because he almost had as much sales volume as Mac Jones this past week as the quarterback. So it's pretty wild, including the fact that he had roughly 1,500 rookie card sales Sunday and Monday, including 11 kabooms, which was roughly 15% of the entire population of his kabooms on the eBay marketplace. In fact, you had this one here, Kaboom, sold in auction on January 2nd at 10:30 p.m. Went for considerably higher, over twice as high as the Buy It Now Kabooms. You can see the Buy It Now Kaboom selling for that $800 to $900 range. And then here's this January 2nd auction that went for $2,025 around all these $800 to $900 kabooms, all on January 2nd, which begs the question, why did that auction go so high? Now, we know that the hype was at an all-time high for him, so it could have just been some guys that got into an auction bidding war there Sunday night. I could totally see that happening. Needless to say, a wild demand spike for Jamar Chase there. When we look at our running back hype index chart, it is no surprise that Jonathan Taylor tops that chart once again, as he is a 2020 rookie. He's also run away, literally, with the number one running back award for 2021. Chances are, if you had him on your fantasy squad this year, you were in the playoffs, potentially won your championship. Shout out to Lenny and his son Troy Bois for winning the Quest Fantasy Championship, and he had Jonathan Taylor on his fantasy roster. So when I look at Jonathan Taylor's sales volume, this is interesting because the Colts are in the hunt for the playoffs, and they get the Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 18. You got to think this is a smash spot for Jonathan Taylor for the upcoming week. He's definitely the most hyped running back right now in the NFL, and his sales volume for January 2nd, January 3rd was about 1,000 sales Sunday and Monday. So absolutely insane volume. And his highest sale was this 2020 Select Field Level Gold Disco Prism PSA 10, number 5 out of 10, that sold for $2,550 in an auction on Sunday. The other running back that's very high up there on the chart is none other than A.J. Dillon, who is a comparable draft class peer to Jonathan Taylor. And what I fascinating about A.J. Dillon is you can go follow him on Dillon's Deals, guys. I've talked about this several times, and it's important to point out that this man is continuing to evolve and progress in his quest. He's on the football card quest. He probably doesn't even know about the fantasy football card quest here. Hopefully we can collaborate, communicate with him. He's also got a podcast that he's doing, Tune In to Dylan, and but he is an outspoken card collector doing live breaks here in the offseason, collects one-of-ones of himself. So in fact, when I look at A.J. Dillon's sales volume over Sunday and Monday, he had 2 touchdowns against Minnesota. He looks like a red zone monster. He had roughly 225 sales, so a nice little demand there from Sunday and Monday, and he had his highest sale of $500 for this one, or actually $450 for this one-of-one championship rookie ticket auto with that retro 2000 look to it, the iconic Tom Brady playoff ticket look to it. Such a beautiful card, one-of-one. I wonder if this was A.J. Dillon that purchased this card for himself. There was also another one-of-one, a National Treasures one-of-one with the Nike patch, the NFL logo, that sold for roughly $550. It was a best offer accepted at, you can see, $650 on today, Wednesday, January 5th. All right, so when we look at the tight end hype index chart and filter out for teams that are in the hunt or in the playoffs, the chart is topped by none other than Travis Kelsey at number 1. And Travis Kelsey had a dominant game, very pedestrian game for Travis Kelsey. However, the Chiefs did lose that game. Travis Kelsey, now he is a 2013 rookie. So what's interesting, when you look at his sales volume, you will see a ton of these 2013 Tops and Tops Chromes with that iconic picture. That you can see that card back there behind me on my wall. This card is very iconic and definitely his most liquid card in the marketplace. And looking at his volume, he had roughly 50 rookie cards sale Sunday and Monday, with this one being the highest. This is a rookie ticket auto, none other than a rookie ticket auto, cracked ice, numbered out of 21, BGS 9.5, edges, centering, corners all 9.5, surface 9, auto 10, sold for $19.99, almost $2,000 from one bid on Sunday night at 9 p.m. I look at Rob Gronkowski, who's second on our hype index chart for tight ends heading into the playoffs, and he had one of the best performances on week 17, and we needed him because in the third quarter, about this point in comparable terms of the video of this video to the game, Antonio Brown's over there taking the clothes off, getting
one day. Come on, man.
Done with it, man. He's done with it. He was fed up for one speculative reason or another, whether it was a pitch count, whether it was, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on why it was that he did, but we also know that he's not 100% mentally stable and that he's needed, some sort of mental therapy help for quite a while, and that may have played a role in it. Anyways, he left the game in the third quarter. Gronk was clutch, though, for the remainder of the game. You had the final touchdown pass from Tom Brady to Cyril Grayson. Cyril Grayson, the LSU track star that has very few rookie cards, if you're looking for them. Very few because he was undrafted. But Gronk is also a Hall of Famer. He does like to take his shirt off as well, just not during games like AB. We look at Gronk's sales volume from over the weekend, very solid. He actually had more than, and what's interesting, he's a 2010 rookie, whereas Kelsey's a 2013, and Gronk actually had roughly 75 sales Sunday and Monday. I believe that's just due to his more loud personality in social media. He's also more widely known in different industries and different sectors of the world than Kelsey is, and Gronk is higher on the Hall of Fame marker status list than Kelsey as well. So you see that he had roughly 75 sales. His most iconic card is also that Topps Chrome. So they're definitely comparable in terms of comparing their Topps Chrome values against each other if one's lower than the other. It's a very good comping strategy to compare them against each other. They are the two best tight ends in the league besides Mark Andrews, George Kittle. When we look at Gronk's highest sale is actually just this SGC 10 that sold for a Topps Chrome X-Fractor that sold for $371.88 in an auction on Monday night. Beautiful X-Fractor, iconic card. Love that card there. So let's look at my initial revision of the linebacker hype index chart. Filtered out by playoffs, these are some of my favorite linebackers / defensive edge men going into the playoffs here. TJ Watt, if the Steelers make the playoffs, of course. Micah Parsons, Matthew Judon, Harold Landry, Marcus Golden, and my own Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Shaq Barrett. Hopefully he gets healthy real soon. I believe he will be back here in just a couple weeks. Chandler Jones is on there. All right. We look at the defensive line hype index sorted by teams in the playoffs. And now this is not everybody, but this is some of my favorites sorted by their highest hype. Trey Hendrickson on the Cincinnati Bengals has amassed a massive amount of sacks this year, one of the league leaders, followed by Aaron Donald and Chris Jones, and Danico Autry, Sam Hubbard, Javon Hargrave, and Jeffrey Simmons. And then you have Nick Bosa, Josh Sweat, Randy Gregory on the Dallas Cowboys, and then another Buccaneer, Ndamukong Suh, up there on the hype index for the playoffs. And then when we look at defensive backs, it's pretty much Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs, I look at Darius Slay because Trayvon Diggs has got the most amount of interceptions with 11 currently, leading the league in interceptions. But Darius Slay on the Philadelphia Eagles, who is also a lock for the playoffs, has the most amount of touchdowns out of any defensive player this year with 3 defensive touchdowns. So those make for some incredible highlights, and I wouldn't be surprised if he comes up with a big splash play here in the playoffs. Trey Hendrickson, some of these guys' cards are hard to find, but you can find plenty of Trayvon Diggs, plenty of Darius Slay, plenty of Aaron Donald, some other guys as well. All right, so the massive hobby news that was just announced is that Fanatics acquires Topps in a massive deal. You know, earlier in the year, Fanatics acquired licensing from all these different professional sports organizations, and they've just sealed a deal with Topps. And so this was really well covered on yesterday's QuestCast with my man Carter the Power Bryant. You can find the full podcast video and podcast in the link below, but let's listen into this part of the podcast video to learn more about this deal.
Topps has been acquired by Fanatics. Now, there are layers to this. You and I were talking about this for 30 minutes before we even started recording it. This obviously affects baseball more than football over the next couple of years because Topps owns the baseball license. But this is where it gets really interesting, Andy. Fanatics once again, is taking over the NFLPA license in 2026. They're taking over the NBA PA license in 2025. So what that means is you would automatically assume that Fanatics is going to get the NFL license as well, because Fanatics sells all of NFL license merchandise. You'll see it on basically every ad. When a team win a championship, go to fanatics.com or whatever. So, Andy, what is your initial reaction from a football standpoint when it comes to Topps being acquired by Fanatics?
Oh man, it seems like we may be getting those Topps Chrome rookie cards back, those Topps Chrome X-Fractors, those Topps Chrome Refractors. I think it's healthy because this is going to bring in competition. All right, guys, so I'll see you live tomorrow night, and I've got another mail day video coming up later this week. If you want to get access to all the other bonus content and articles and the Discord and everything, head over to patreon.com/footballcards, and I'll see you there. Peace. Antonio Brown did what? Dude, I started him this week in my championship teams. Guess who's back? Back again. The king is back. Oh, the Zangief King, King Henry, is back, baby.